Okay, first thing that you were doing is from the hold here, there's a big old gap in there, which the connection with the golf club, very important to make sure that that is now completely sealed. From the front it's going to look like this. The right hand is very much underneath the golf club. What that does is it promotes a supination in the right wrist and a movement back to the right leg as you're hitting the golf shot. Because if you've got the hands in the right position, you get the club very, very shut. You've got to be shifting your weight on here. Because you held the golf club in this position, that'll never happen. You'll always move back. When you're too far back when you're hitting the golf shot, your weight stays on the right and you swing across the line. It's scooting up, and what we do is we do a massive chicken wing here. So the first thing we did was we changed the hold to more this position here. This thumb and the lifeline slot in like this. Okay, so we're going to hold the golf club like so, instead of paw here as you were, and also paw there. So we've now gone into this position. Next thing we need to do is we need to get you to go back to the full swing. Things that weren't helping you as you swung back. Okay, you were very much back on your heels, but you've also talked about that a little bit more into the ground. And as you swung back, you had a very slight sway in your right hip. This then leads again with the pull hand to pivot around that right leg as you're hitting the golf shot, trying to fire everything out of the way really, really quickly. As you see here in this pivoting motion, that chucks the club right over the top. Creates a chicken wing because you're always trying to hit the ball straight. So what you need to do to drill, once we've got this, you practice at home watching TV. Play the ball a couple of inches inside your left heel, and then put your foot down on the big toe. You want to feel like it's in line with your heel, not too wide, don't go too wide. So what this does is it lines our body up, lines centre of the hip and our knee, so now we can easily pivot. When we swing back, you did this beautifully all lesson, as you're swinging back, we need to feel like we're pivoting this right hip away and around. A couple of times as you swung, you moved into it here. We're back to the same old scenario of pivoting around the right leg and getting this old chicken wing across the line of save. So we want to pivot here. Now as you're coming down, you want to pivot back, and you're going to get into a really good expansion position. Occasionally you went good pivot, and then you shifted slightly to the right and then pivoted left. And what that will do is it'll change your path. So that's correct. Let's pivot here. Now if I pivot, shift my weight, now pivot back, you see my club swing more left. So you were here, sway across chicken. Well, now what we've got you to do is we've got you good hold, leg drill. And whenever you're ready. Get one more. I have a weird thing that I seem to hit the ball better before I've actually loosened up. Okay. I think it's because everything's stiff, it's just all I can do is go up and down. Okay. You're saying golf, beware the injured golfer, which is sort of similar. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Alright, off you go. Very good. A couple more. I'll probably, when you're talking, I'll ask why a lot. So then you can... Oh.
Okay mate, we're just going to go and talk about where impact is. The things that we want to do, the knee here is now not aligning up with that ankle. That's a result of making sure your hips are just closed off a little bit, set up and nice and square. So this is now going to go away. Rotation's got good, it's got much better as you're coming back. That right pocket is starting to go around, so it's improved, but then there's that little move over there, that weight moves onto the outside of that foot just fractionally. Now it's going to get hard for you to get into an impact position, but we also talked about where does the club bottom out. Well, the club's going to bottom out about there by the inside of the left heel, so he makes sure that we hit it on the downswing. So we've now given you a drill just to work on that impact position. So Let's now go back up. So from here, setting up. Okay, now you see that little move there, that's a great knee position. Then you move over, you post that leg over, letting the shaft lean up, and then you just want to try and rotate around that hip. I'm just getting you to turn, and now that's a cracking position to get into. Now as you're coming down, you want to return to the position. Again, that's a million times better. What we can see is we can see a better spine tilt, you can see a better stretch in that body as you're coming into the golf ball. Let's bring the first one up. So you can see that same position there, million times better coming into the golf ball. Much better legs, more mobile in that right leg as well. Really good impact. And then coming through, a little bit off balance on that one, and then we did another one. So in here, sliding over, turning, excellent rotation, and then we just want to try and feel like we're not going to turn through it, that we're just going to return back to that position. So you're up, and then bang into impact like that, up, and then bang. So I'm actually just rolling this back the other way here. So you're coming down, let's see what happens. So it's turning up, and then you get into a really good position again. Excellent, really good there. Just notice your lower body. Let's bring this one back up to the same position. Okay, much better. Difference in your right elbow there also on that one. Just have a look at that there, but you look at the difference in the position. That's come from the drill. This is where we've got to get as we hit in a golf ball. Fantastic position, well done. And then everything's going to get better from there. Your legs are going to get a lot more stable. Well done. Okay, mate, look at that. Absolutely superb. What a change in position. All done by looking at the takeaway, this right arm and here. Let's have a look at the first takeaway. Let's draw a line. Take the club back, and you can see your right elbow is just buggering off behind you here. The pivot's got really good, but the connection with the club hasn't. The club opens up too early, so we showed you a couple of pros, and we wanted to feel like this golf club now on the way back is starting to mirror our posture position. You can see how that right arm is a lot more straighter on there. We're now using the right wrist that we had from setup, which was one of the first lessons, to keep that palm feeling like it's very much pointing down as you're taking the golf club. And just bringing you back to Luke Donald, look at his right wrist and his palm. Okay, so his arm's bent a little bit, but you can see the club position there. And then you can see what you're doing here. So we're just really keeping this connected. The arm has to fold at some point. So now once you're in this position, what we did is we did loads and loads of drills as keeping this arm in exactly that point and swing through the ball. You know the good line, and you know it's went over the top, and what that did is it really initiated your legs correctly. Coming up to the top here now. Wow, that's a good position. So let's just draw these lines on here. Let's draw a swing cone on both of them. Okay, so as we're coming back here on the right, your club is dropped underneath it, stays underneath it. So that's the wrong plane. You have the wrong backswing plane. Okay, you've got great pivot, goes too far, and now as you're coming back down, you drop the golf club back down. You actually cross it slightly there. This one here, wow, look at the difference in that. The club stays within the plane, and it's all done by using that right wrist. That's quite hard to do, but it's all done by the right wrist. As you're taking it up, the perfect position for your hands is not in the middle, just ever so slightly left of that. Sorry, to the right of that. So we'd say there's undo. We'd say this second red line here is where your hand should hit. As you see, as you're getting up to the top here, that's really the top of your backswing. Your hands are fractionally low. So let's see where your arms get. Perfect. That's a great plane for your arms to be in. Basically, right through your sternum. Very good indeed. Movement down, you just back out of it a little bit because you lose the angle in that right arm. You let it go behind you, so your first motion has to be a spin, and you get it outside. You recover nicely, but then through the ball, look where your hands hit again, right on plane. So it's a really solid golf swing. And also look at the control in the hands there at the top of the swing as well. That's lovely for me. So this one, You see your hands finish a lot higher than they were on through, so you're not swinging on the same lines. Your neck's being pulled forward. So now we're just going to play this a couple of times. You see much more controlled. Fold it and then hit. Get your legs there as well. That's a much better golf swing. Real controlled golf swing. Well done, mate. Really getting good. Really getting somewhere now. Play well, because you hit those positions you should.
Okay, mate. Just going to run through the lesson for you here. So first swing, shaft line there, swinging the club back. You can see the club just dropped slightly underneath the plane. I asked you lots of questions during the lesson, saying what you were thinking about. You said you were trying to get the club back on plane. I said, this is not what we want you to do. We want to feel like this happens. This is not something you should really think about. It's something that will happen if the connection's correct. Just take the club up to the top. You can see that this arm gets too far out and away, not matching your spine angle. Excuse me. So as we're coming down, what we then do is we get the golf club above plane slightly. That's improved a lot, though, a lot. So this is the shots you're going to hit from here. Unfortunately, you can hit shank from there. But you can hit pull, and you can hit fade, and then you can hit all the way over there as well. So you can hit anything along that line there, up here, and then right over here. So movement through, hips have improved a hell of a lot. Body's not overturning, back foot is now not spinning out this way. Really good. So it's improved a lot, hell of a lot. So what we did is we asked you to think about the takeaway by pronating this right wrist. So we want you to work on a short swing, and notice how the pivot is absolutely vital if you keep this connection. So now let's see what happens here. You take the golf club back. Now you see you taking the club back on this line. Doesn't get underneath it. The toe of it's on it all the way back to here, which is excellent. It's a great position. The main thing here is that your right arm is a lot straighter, and your arms and the forearms are not separating. See how those arms are just really coming apart there as you're swinging the golf club back. Because the connection from the setup is lost in the backswing, the body will not pivot correctly on the way down. So from here, you're setting up, so just take those lines off, and we're just going to put the shaft line back on. So it's slightly under. This one isn't. And you're not thinking about this, you're thinking about this right arm, the wrist angle, and then as you're taking the club up, you can see how you're moving the club now back over the top of the plane. So now from here, all we simply want to do, that's perfect for me, love that position, the blade on there. For me now, all you've got to do is turn, and this is a half swing, and it's very difficult to hit the ball because I'm not letting you bend your right arm just yet, because I really want you to feel the connection. Now it's pivot orientated, so how can you swing that golf club across the line? Well, you can break your connections and do it easily, but all you're going to do here now is you're just going to turn down, and look at that. That pivot there is lovely. Look how the club tracks straight back down that line into the ball, into impact. Really nice. Excellent swing. So we went again, here, turning, and then once again, just track straight down the line on a perfect angle into the ball. The body's turning through nicely there. Then I asked you to keep the connection, and it's really, really, really difficult to keep that right arm straight. It's impossible on a full swing. So I now asked you to pivot all the way to the top of the backswing. So let's have a look at see how the takeaway did. So really good, above the plane, that's fine, nothing wrong there. It settles right back in, beautiful, and now big old pivot, big turn. You can see how now this arm, okay, your left arm is now a lot flatter, it's a lot straighter as well.
How you doing, buddy? Sorry for the delay on this. There's a couple of things we talked about. Number one was the Hogan's pane of glass line. What Hogan believed was that his head was poking through a big pane of glass, and then as he swung the golf club back, the club wouldn't be underneath it and he wouldn't smash it, and then movement down into the ball wouldn't smash it, just like you're doing down here, really nicely. Pulling that right wrist, snapping into the golf ball. Now this is one of the major things that you do wrong. That's a great looking backswing position, very nicely connected, great hand positions, really nice. But we've got to move down into the ball, get the club pointing back at the ball quite early, try not to leave it too open. So now from here, we're just working through this quite a long video. So I'm just sort of like explaining to you here, it's talking about the angle in the wrist. So from there I'm just going to run through this. So from here you're just really slamming that club down into position. So this is you just doing a right hand drill, just working the club downwards. There's a bit too much lean back here, it's a little bit too much on the inside, but it's probably going to feel like that to you. That was a better one there, and you can see if that club was attached to you, it would be underneath this pane of glass all the time. This is good here. So from here we want to snap into this position. This is the key position for you. Right here, you're going to feel like your hands are way past the golf ball, and you can see the pronation in this right wrist. That means the blade is squaring up nicely to the ball. Now from your eye line, we want to try and keep the left arm and the armpit quite connected as well. This will feel massively because that there is your eye line. It'll feel like your hand's over here somewhere. So we need to learn to snap to this position. Just push that hand back down in and try not to flip into it. Snap into the ball there, and then kick there. I'll do that. Play that again. So again, here your right arm is very straight. So you need to feel like that's straightening out a lot earlier. It's a massive change in the arm position there. So you're working up here and then snapping into the ball. Now that's a great example of where we want your golf swing to go. Right here. So if we do the Hogan pane of glass, so I'm just gonna that you did this really nicely. So you're taking it up really nicely back, and then snapping into the ball, club travelling underneath there. You've left the blade too open. That right hand needs to feel like it's pointing down more. But that's very close to where we want you to be. If it passes after the ball, it's not necessarily a bad thing, but here is where it must not pass. Okay, now I've got an old swing of yours here. I saw it the other day, and just going to bring this up. I'm pretty sure I've still got it. Yeah, I think I deleted that actually. Bugger. Okay, so we use this one here. So I think this is the one I'm just saying, just hit the ball, just try not to think for too much at all. And what we're seeing here, posture's looking great. Let's draw the pane of glass line on, so we're in here. So we want to keep the club underneath this line, and you can see here how the club smashes into it there, it hits there. So that club is on the wrong plane. Here you're now snapping into position. And the key position is there. From here, getting that right arm feeling extending down, the right hand held back as much as you possibly can, and try and feel like the blade's really square. That's where we need to go. Once that's in place, we're really looking in good shape. Well done.